Never judge a book by its cover, unless of course you are doing a US versus UK book cover comparison. Yes, we are back and we have some very interesting covers to discuss today. First is a new release that I personally am very excited to pick up this month, and that is The Correspondent by Virginia Evans. I actually quite like both of these covers, if I'm being honest with you. I quite like the simplicity of the US cover. There's something very stark and wintry about it, and I think that in itself is really effective. It may be a little bit bland, and I think the text on the cover gets a little bit lost in that whiteness, but I think my eye would be drawn to that in a bookshop. I think the UK has blown the US out of the water with their cover. I absolutely love the pink and red combination that we find here. The border looks like a stamp, we have a letterbox in the middle, and this is a literary fiction book and it's told exclusively through letters. I just love everything about this cover. Next we have Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. This is one of my personal favourite books, and I don't know if this is controversial, but I think I prefer the US cover. You know me, you know how I love a face on a cover, but not just any face, a face that is obscured by something or that has been altered in some kind of way, and I think the US cover has done that very, very well. I will say though, there are points that have been knocked off this cover because I absolutely hate how the text and the font and the title is laid out like that. But then I don't hate the UK cover. I think my personal preference is the one with the big H. I just think it's a very beautiful usage of colour and font, but I do think it's sometimes those flat coloured backgrounds that can really put me off. We next have Yesteryear, which is a book I am very interested in picking up when it comes out next year. And I don't know about you, but there is one very clear winner. It's the formatting, it's the colours, it's the font. It is of course the UK version. This is about a social media trad wife who is very rich. She earns a lot of money through this lifestyle, and she suddenly wakes up in the brutal reality of 1805, where she then actually has to be a trad wife in that time period. I think it sounds so interesting. I will definitely want to be picking this up, but this cover absolutely sucks. Next one's going to be short and sweet. This is The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. This is a thriller, so can you guess which one I'm going to prefer? The US covers just absolutely ace it every single time with their thriller covers. The UK could not be more boring. Everything just feels very blocky, very plain, just very forgettable. Whereas in the US, I think that pink and bluey green combination is a really striking balance. I just think they did a phenomenal job with this cover. And then I really want to talk about Uprooted because I mentioned Spinning Silver in a previous episode and how I like elements from both of the covers, but both were kind of lacking. Well, I went into Waterstones the other day and I've seen they brought out new covers for both Uprooted and Spinning Silver. I don't know if this is available in the US, but it's definitely available in Waterstones in the UK, and I think this is the one. It reminds me a little bit of the Robin Hobb covers, that kind of aged paper effect with this ink drawing over the top. It's very whimsical. I love the vertical writing that we have down the side. I just think this is the kind of thing I want to see a little bit more of in fantasy covers at the minute, so I just wanted to shout out this cover.